As a mom, you never stop feeling guilty. My mom, she took me to LA when I was 9. She never registered me. So I kept on going through school. Then I grew up. I have my family. You know, they had to give you like an ID. So in order for me to get that, I had to get a fake birth certificate. And when I had my kids, that's how I put my name on my kids. I registered myself here in 2005. They changed the law. And because I registered myself, they took my papers away.
My mom took me to the U.S. since I was 3. I got deported in 2010, and I have a kid in the U.S. that I haven't seen physically for 15 years. The process is long, not only personally, but also legally. If the other father doesn't choose to let you see your kids, you won't see them because there's nothing that protects you on this side unless you're on the U.S. side. Through the jurisdiction, obviously he's not going to let her come out here because then he'll lose that. And at the time when we got separated, she was only 5 years old. You never get that back, you know? You never get those moments back.
I moved here because they deported my husband. He got deported like 13 years ago. So I asked them, do you want to come with me? Do you want to stay? But they say no, they want to stay and study. So I just brought the 2 younger ones and I put them to school. It was hard for them to learn Spanish because they didn't know Spanish. Sometimes you feel like you're alone, like they don't care. But later on you start living around here and then you start learning how to live here. It's very hard at the beginning. When we moved here, I only have one twin mattress for my 2 sons. And then when we started work, we didn't know how much they were supposed to pay us. We were like from 6 o'clock to 10 at night. And on Sunday, they used to give me 200 pesos. That's how much you get here, right?
LAPD actually turned me into ICE, and then that's when I got deported out here. Well, when I got to the detention center, I was very explicit about my kid, but by then I had a family court case with her father. We had a 50-50 sharing custody, and this is why I mean that there's not a legal procedure once we step foot over here in Mexico for us parents.
We used to buy bread and we used to cut it in 4 pieces so I can give one piece for each of the kids. And the piece that was left, we had to cut it in 2 more pieces. 1 little piece for my husband, 1 little piece for me. It was very hard. Even my youngest one used to tell me, Mom, how come we were rich and now we're so poor? I'm like, we were never rich. But how can you tell that to a little kid, you know? It's like the 2 other ones, they're very close. And the younger ones, they're very close with each other. But the 4 of them together, it's like, yeah, they talk and everything, but it's not the same. Even when they come to visit me, it's like hard for us to talk about something that we have like in common because we don't see each other that much. As a mom, you never stop feeling guilty because even though they were already in college, I feel like I left them behind. But I couldn't take their dreams away, you know, they wanted to be somebody, so I cannot take them with me.
I had an opportunity to fight my case from over here. And because when I got here, I ended up turning in a documentation about seeking the custody of my child from this side. But there is nothing that can force an American to send an American child to Mexico. There's no law to enforce that. So it was always hard for me to have a visitation of my daughter on this side. I started coming to Friendship Park and I realized that this was a place where people would encounter because I thought, you know, maybe this was a spot that my daughter and I can see each other. They never gave me that opportunity. We went to court, we would fight from all the way over here. I tried, but that relationship just kind of like blew out because the dad never like connected us. I would talk to her on the phone here and there, like it was random, but it wasn't like all the time. We don't have a connection. She doesn't know me, you know, she has no idea who I am. Of course I know who she is and I know what she's all about, That's what I mean about you losing everything when it comes to family.
I remember that day he was very dirty because he was working on the roof and his hair was standing up all full with something dark. He came from work and then they stopped him and they asked for his driver's license. So he didn't have it and they just put him on hold because I called the police and they said, no, we don't have nothing against him. His record is clear, but ICE has a hold on him. But the last time that he tried to go over there, oh, we're going to go through tonight. Then the next day, like around 10, they called me and they say, okay, we already crossed. Send us the money. We're in Santa Rosa. And I'm like, wait a minute, why you took him to Santa Rosa if you were supposed to pass through LA? And he's like, well, you're going to pay or not? And then I'm like, no, until I see him. And then they kept on calling me every 15 minutes. Most of it was, we're going to get rid of him. He said they beat them up. They took away their clothes, their money. And he said that they had them like on their knees. They were going to shoot them on the head.
Wall has affected society here in Tijuana, but then when it comes to the people that come see the wall, because they see how big that is, like they know they have no way to cross the border. I mean, even if they try.
And it was very hard. I said, okay, I'm having too much trouble here and that's going over there. We're not going to risk it no more. But it's sad. Yeah, my mom passed away and I couldn't be there. And that's what you miss. They say that your heart don't hurt. It does. When you think about your kids, you have pain, like physical pain in your heart, in your chest.